It's Vikings TV, it's Roy Bassnett here. Now, there can be no doubt of the incredible success that the Vikings have had since their inclusion into the Super League, and somebody who's made a major contribution to that is Jon Clarke. But come the end of the season, that contribution will be no more. Jon's with us at the moment, along with Vikings head coach Denis. Jon, I'm going to start with you. Is that it? All over?
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, Roy, it's come the end of the season. I'm going to hang the boots up. I think the time's right. I just feel the time's right to not just announce it, but just decide on the end of the career.
Is this like even the wife started talking and the wife said, "Listen, Jon, it's it's affected your performance at home." No, I don't mean that. No, I mean the wife was saying, was it your decision? You thought, hang on a second, the body's not reacting as it should be, and
it's probably more. I probably spoke to Denis more about it really initially, and just. My thoughts going into pre-season of where I wanted to go, at the end of the year. So, Denis, was an issue. Cara, I speak to her about everything, but it's probably going home and then telling Cara that I spoke to Denis a bit about it, and decided which way to go really. So, there's no. I can't put my finger on one factor which has made me make mine up. Denis will tell you himself. I think you have to try and take everything into account really, and make the decision for you, but also what's best for my family as well, for in the long run.
Yeah. And is this at the beginning of the season? Was it in the back of your mind, or is it something that's formulated as the season has gone on?
Yeah, it's been in the back of my mind a little bit. I think that's probably why I just wanted to sort of get it out there off my mind, tell the lads, yesterday, and then get it out publicly, just because of the enormity of some of the games we've got coming up for the club. I didn't want anything like this on my mind. I just want to solely concentrate on firstly getting fit and getting back in the team, but then finishing the year in the right way in which potentially we've got some massive games for the club.
And what about the reaction when you put it to the lads? Was it like the cast of Glee where they all start hugging and
No, and I didn't make too much of a big deal of it.
Yeah.
I've been I've witnessed some horrific breakdowns from players who've announced their retirements over the years, but there was none of that. For me, I didn't make too much of a big deal. I just told them that the end of the year, boys, I'm calling it a day, and I'm highly motivated to finish it, in the right way, and lead this team in some massive games. So, and that was it. There was no more to it than that, and they were really respectful, and say it was done dusted within 60 seconds. So
yeah, by your own admission, Denis, Jon's been a pivotal part of the machine, really, hasn't he? I mean, this is a massive loss, really.
It's been huge. Yeah, I don't think it's a loss. Jon's still got the rest of this year to go on, and it's like. All good things come to an end. It's one of those kind of strange things in life, and then I think Jon's strong enough and understands himself enough to know when it's time to let go, and it's Jon's decision. It's not nothing else, nothing more about it. Jon's just decided that I've served my time, I've done my things, and it's time to just draw a line and then move on. I think that shows great character. It shows a great understanding of yourself and an awareness that Jon's worked really hard to know that he's got a future outside of Rugby League, and I think you should hold him up massively for those kind of things in his life, that he's ready to move on, and that's what's exciting for me about this year, is that as soon as he got to the point where he made the decision, it's early in the year, that I know I can expect nothing but the best from him now, and once he's got that straight and he's moving on, it's going to be, I'm looking forward to him getting fit and getting back in the team, and it's going to be an exciting finish to the year.
And when you were putting the team together, when the Super League came to Widnes here, was Jon somebody that, Jon's available, I'm interested to know, or was he in the back of your mind a targeted figure that you wanted as part of the squad?
Jon, he was available, and there was clubs chasing him, and he was in the point of making a decision whether he was going to stay at Warrington and whether he was going to move somewhere else. And I wanted Jon to come here. I knew exactly. I've known Jon since he was 16. It's like one of those. I've seen him work as a kid. I knew that the ambition and drive has been there for a long, long time. And then when you look through his career and you see how determined and how driven he is to be successful, you want that character and you want that kind of bloke in your group. And he was the first person I went after. One external bloke that I felt that I could sort of put in place and then start building things around. And he's given me more than I could have ever wanted, really. I think he's been outstanding, not just on the field. Like last year as our player of the year, the first year as a real leading light and putting people into position when things didn't go our way. And then just, again, it's his character that has driven us to this point where he's been such a pivotal part in these last 2.5 years and will be a pivotal part in the next 6 months.
back in the old day, Lowton lad, aspirations to be a rugby league player. Where did it start? Where was the big step up for you, your break, as it were, in the career?
Well, just started playing at primary school. I didn't know what a rugby ball was as a young kid. I raced BMXs right through my childhood. At quite a serious level. So I picked a rugby ball up and didn't really know what it was. And a few years later, I signed for Wigan at quite a young age, really. So once I'd signed for Wigan at sort of 14, that's sort of when I just sort of put not all my eggs in one basket, but I knew sort of which direction I wanted my career to go, really. So I suppose that, being lucky enough to sign for, a big club, and Denis was there, Phil Clarke was there, Andy Farrell, Jason Robinson, these names who were world renowned, to be able to go there as a 14, 15-year-old kid for days here and there and train was an unbelievable sort of starting point for my career.
And who was at the helm at Wigan who would have said, Clarke's got it, I think we'll have Clarke on board? Who brought you in?
At the time, I think Graham West was coach, and say Jack Robinson, the old chairman, but I think who sort of gave me my break was Eric Hughes, an old Widnes favourite, I think, as well. So he was head coach at the time, and he dropped the international in Martin Hall to give this young 18-year-old kid a run, and then he put me a couple of times off the bench, and then he basically dropped all, and he was just starting me every week. And that year, in my debut year, I played 11 games, and I played in the Premiership final at the end of the year. So it was an unbelievable start to a first team career, really.
And your CV's full of achievements, isn't it? There's very little you haven't actually done within rugby league.
Yeah, I've been very, very privileged and lucky enough to play in some really good sides, and tick most of the boxes that I wanted to tick. If at 14 I could have gone through them things and say you're going to achieve this, I'd have bitten someone's arm off to do it. So, and to be able to captain my country at 19 was very good, and then a massive achievement. And then to actually play for Great Britain with some of them players that I played with in that Test series win was unbelievable. And then the year after I got picked for to go to the World Cup in 2008, but I broke my arm in the last game of the playoffs and I missed out on that, and that. After that I got a couple of injury complications, and the international sort of scene faded. But I've ticked a lot of boxes in my career, and say something in the years to go, years gone by, you'll look back off and be very proud of, I would imagine.
Did you spot anything in him? Did he look like?
From the start, you just see the glint in his eye, the determination to work hard and be successful. Like you see the little things in people where you don't know what they are, but you maybe see a little bit of reflection of yourself. And I think that's what, there was a number of kids around that used to come to the gym, and he wasn't cocky, but he was self-assured. He worked hard. John worked really hard in the gym and on the field, and it was one of those kind of things, and it stuck with me all the way through. And I was none more proud of that. The connection to signing John here, when John made his debut and Tony Smith picked him for Great Britain, I rung him up. I'd not spoken to him for a number of years. I just felt that it was the right thing to do because of how hard he worked and what he'd done in his career. To play for Great Britain was a massive achievement, and all that hard work he put in place to come through and play in that test match was outstanding. And I think that's the culmination of John's drive. You know what I mean? It's not. Like you say, he just rolls over setbacks, and that bringing him here was one of those kind of points where I knew it was going to be tough times and setbacks, but I needed people that could roll with those, come out the other side and be more determined. Yeah. I think what John's done is he's done that for us as a group.
Yeah. The thing is, Denis holds you up as a role model, quite rightly so. Obviously the achievements are there, your determination's there, but there was a dark period, which ultimately resulted in a stint with Her Majesty's pleasure. Was that like an epiphanal moment for you, a kind of look at yourself in the mirror? What did it do for you as a person, that period?
Yeah, I think it took a while even after that for me to sort of, look at myself closer. But yeah, looking back, that was probably the moment in my life where things, not straight away, but definitely started to change, and I started to take a bit more of get a grip on my life, really, just to make sure nothing like that happened again. But so I think I'm a big believer in sort of taking these bad situations and turning them into a positive. Whether you learn from them or what. I think if you learn from a bad situation, you come out the other side as a better person. I think it's almost worth going through sometimes to do that. So. It certainly over the years has certainly helped shape me into a better person, and and I can look back on that experience now and use it with the young kids, with the work I'm doing with the RFL, and making them aware of the dangers and the pitfalls of things that can happen to you when you are in your younger career. So it was definitely a a milestone in my life that certainly changed things eventually.
And life after rugby league, what are you going to do?
Well, yeah, I've not, I've done all my, calls for the S&C and sports science, so that's certainly, the route I want to take. That, where that is, I'm undecided, and to be honest, I'm not giving it too much thought at the minute. I'm solely, motivated now to one, get fit, and then get back in the side and say just lead the team and enjoy the rest of the year. And I think the way to enjoy it is to be successful, and go out there on a high and hopefully playing these big games that are coming the club's way.
Yeah, going out on a high, nice trip to Wembley would probably be a great way to finish the career.
Absolutely, and that was what I said to the lads yesterday. I felt this week was a nice time to tell them that I was going to retire because it's Challenge Cup week. And I said one of my main goals this week, this year, boys, is to lead you out of Wembley. So, if I can do that, then that'd be an amazing finish.
Away from yourself and what you've done here, what can you say to people watching this about your time at Widnes, the fans and Denis's influence? What can you tell us?
Now I can look back on the first year. Even the first year, I think there was some dark times, but again, that adversity. It helped mould the club and mould us as people as well, and the situation that we had to go through, it helped strengthen us that second year. Them dark times in the second year, they've helped strengthen us again for this third year, and I'm just very proud to have been a part of this team and the club, with the fans who have helped the club evolve the way it has and progress the way it has over 3 years. I think the level of progression, the gradient of progression that we've shown is incredible, really. And to be where we are now in year 3, I don't think many people give us that. I don't think many people would have thought that, externally. I think internally we were quite aware of what we could achieve and still can achieve. So I'm just, I'm very grateful to Denis for giving me the opportunity to come here and lead the side from that first year in Super League, and grateful to the club and the fans for accepting me when I've just come across the road from Warrington, which is never easy for for fans to do. So and so I'm hoping to repay that faith by this time, between now and the end of the year.
Final word to you then, Denis. Jon Clarke, sum it up if you will, please.
I think he's been inspirational for. I think more than anything else, I think what you see with Jon is what you get, and I think what he's achieved in his career and what we should use Jon for in the game is the fact that this is how good it can be. This is what you can achieve if you're willing to work hard. This is what you can achieve if you're willing to sacrifice your time and energy. And I don't think he holds any regrets. And that's the beauty about when you retire, is that you've got to look back and be really proud of everything you've done in your career. And I think Jon can do that from his reactions across the way. And I think everything that he's tried to do has been done with his whole heart and his whole energy. And that's something he can be really proud of.
Well, we wish you all the best for the future, Jon.
Thanks, Roy.
Hopefully you can take us to Wembley as a good swan song.
Definitely.
Cheers, Roy.